One truck on this list has killed over 1,800 people. Another accelerates faster than a Lamborghini but weighs 3 tons. And the number one truck? It's so dangerous that crash test dummies are literally being destroyed just to study what it does to human bodies. Today we're counting down the 10 deadliest pickup trucks ever built. These aren't just dangerous vehicles, they're rolling death traps that somehow made it past every safety regulation and onto public roads. Stick around because number one isn't just redefining danger. It's actively making highways more lethal every single day. 10. Ford Ranger, 1998 to 2003. Looking at a 1998 Ford Ranger, you'd think it was just another basic pickup truck. Budget-friendly, reliable, perfect for weekend projects and daily commuting. Ford marketed it as their safe, dependable choice for families and young drivers. But underneath that innocent exterior was hiding one of the most catastrophic safety failures in pickup truck history. When the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety put the Ranger through frontal crash tests, the results were absolutely horrifying. The entire driver compartment collapsed like a house of cards. The steering wheel was driven so far back it would have crushed the driver's chest completely. The dummy's head whipped forward and slammed into hard surfaces with enough force to cause instant traumatic brain injury. But here's where it gets even worse. The airbag system was completely unreliable. In some crashes, it deployed too late to help. In others, it deployed so weakly it might as well have been a pillow. And in the most terrifying cases, it didn't deploy at all, leaving drivers completely unprotected. The brake system was equally problematic. As these trucks aged, the brakes would fade unpredictably, especially under heavy loads or during emergency stops. The rollover resistance was practically non-existent, and the structural protection was so minimal that what should have been minor fender benders turned into life-threatening emergencies. Thousands of families bought these trucks thinking they were making a safe, practical choice. Instead, they were putting their loved ones inside rolling coffins that would fold up like lawn chairs the moment anything went wrong. 9. Chevrolet CK Series, 1973 to 1987. The Chevrolet CK Series represents everything we love about classic American trucks. Beautiful lines, powerful engines, and that unmistakable rumble that screams freedom and adventure. These trucks are so iconic they've become collector's items, symbols of American automotive excellence. But they're also hiding one of the most deadly design flaws in automotive history. For over 14 years, Chevrolet made a decision that would cost thousands of lives. They mounted the fuel tanks outside the frame rails right behind the doors. This wasn't just a minor oversight, it was a catastrophic engineering failure that turned every side impact into a potential death sentence. Here's how deadly this design was. When another vehicle hit these trucks from the side, the fuel tank would rupture instantly. Gasoline would spray everywhere, and the smallest spark would turn the entire truck into a rolling fireball. We're not talking about small fires that you might escape from. We're talking about explosions that would incinerate everything within seconds. The numbers are absolutely staggering. According to federal investigations, over 1,800 people died in fuel-fed fires involving these trucks. That's not 1,800 total crashes, that's 1,800 people who burned to death because of this single design flaw. And the most terrifying part? Many of these trucks are still on the road today. Classic car enthusiasts buy them, restore them, and drive them daily, completely unaware that they're sitting on top of a bomb that could detonate the moment someone runs a red light. These trucks look beautiful, they sound amazing, and they represent everything we love about American automotive history. But they come with a deadly legacy that most owners don't even know exists. 8. Toyota Hilux Warzone Modifications. The Toyota Hilux has earned a reputation as the most indestructible vehicle ever built. It's been frozen, drowned, dropped from cranes, and set on fire, and it just keeps running. Top Gear couldn't kill one no matter what they threw at it. But that legendary durability has turned the Hilux into something far more sinister than Toyota ever intended. Across war zones in Africa, the Middle East, and Central Asia, the Hilux has become the weapon of choice for military forces, insurgents, and terrorist organizations. Why? Because it can take absolutely anything you throw at it and keep moving. These aren't just trucks anymore. They're tactical assault platforms that have been transformed into rolling weapons of war. We're talking about vehicles mounted with 50 caliber machine guns, rocket-propelled grenade launchers, and even improvised armor plating that can stop small arms fire. The modifications are absolutely terrifying. Heavy weapons bolted to the bed, armor welded to the doors and windows, even explosive reactive armor that can deflect anti-tank rounds. These trucks have become the backbone of modern asymmetric warfare. But here's what makes this even more dangerous. When conflicts end, these militarized vehicles don't just disappear, they end up in civilian hands, often with the weapons system still attached. There's no registry, no tracking system, and no way to know how many of these converted war machines are still out there. Series 7, Ram 2500. Diesel deleted mods. Modern diesel trucks are already incredibly powerful machines. The Ram 2500 diesel comes from the factory with enough torque to pull a house off its foundation. But some owners think that's not nearly enough. That's where emissions deletion comes in, and it turns these trucks into unregulated monsters that should terrify everyone on the road. Deleting means removing every single emissions control system. The diesel exhaust fluid system, the exhaust gas recirculation valves, the diesel particulate filters, everything designed to make these trucks safe and legal. Once those systems are gone, the truck transforms into something completely different. We're talking about 700 to 800 horsepower diesel beasts that can accelerate like freight trains with no brakes. They roll coal at the flip of a switch, creating massive black smoke clouds that can completely blind other drivers. The sound is so loud it can be heard for miles. But here's the deadly part. All that extra power is being channeled through stock brakes and factory suspension systems that were never designed to handle that kind of stress. These trucks can accelerate like supercars, but they stop like fully loaded semi-trucks. The real-world consequences are terrifying. These deleted trucks fog up entire intersections, creating zero visibility conditions for other drivers. They lose control on wet roads because the tires can't handle the massive torque. And when they do crash, the impact is devastating because they're carrying so much more speed and momentum. The worst part? Emissions deletion is technically illegal under federal law, but enforcement is so inconsistent that thousands of these Frankenstein trucks are roaming the streets completely unchecked. They're environmental disasters, safety hazards, and public menaces all rolled into one. 6. Hennessy Goliath 6x6. What happens when you take a Chevrolet Silverado, stretch it to accommodate 6 wheels, bolt on a supercharger, and raise it 8 inches off the ground? You get the Hennessy Goliath 6x6, a $375,000 creation that looks like a military assault vehicle escaped onto public roads. This isn't just a truck, it's a statement. A statement that says money can buy you anything, including the ability to terrorize other drivers with a vehicle that should require a commercial driver's license just to operate. The Goliath is powered by a supercharged 6.2-liter V8 that produces over 700 horsepower and 800 pound-feet of torque. It weighs over 8,000 pounds, which is more than some small trucks fully loaded, and it's so tall that you literally need a ladder to get into the driver's seat. But here's the insane part. Despite weighing as much as a small building and having more power than most race cars, the Goliath is registered as a regular pickup truck. That means no special training, no commercial license, no additional safety requirements. Just a regular driver's license and enough money to buy one. 5. Ford F-150. Lightning electric vehicles are supposed to be quiet, efficient, and environmentally friendly. The Ford F-150 Lightning checks all those boxes, but it also introduces a terrifying new danger that most drivers aren't prepared for. The Lightning can accelerate from 0 to 60 miles per hour in under 4 seconds. That's faster than a Porsche Cayenne, faster than a Ford Mustang GT, faster than most sports cars on the road today, and unlike gasoline engines that build power gradually, Electric motors deliver instant torque the moment you touch the accelerator. That sounds amazing in theory, but the reality is absolutely terrifying. Most people buying these trucks aren't performance drivers. They're contractors, suburban dads, and retirees who just want a reliable work truck that happens to be electric. They're not prepared for the level of acceleration that can launch a 6,500-pound vehicle like a rocket ship. The physics are working against everyone involved. When you misjudge a corner or accidentally hit the accelerator too hard in wet conditions, this truck becomes a 3-ton bullet that can't be stopped. The instant torque means there's no time to react, no chance to ease off the throttle and regain control. Emergency rooms are already reporting a surge in crashes involving new Lightning owners. These aren't just fender benders, they're high-speed accidents caused by drivers who weren't expecting their truck to respond like a drag racer. Number 4. GMC Cyclone, 1991. In 1991, GMC decided to build a truck that could embarrass supercars. The result was the GMC Cyclone, a compact pickup that was so fast it was discontinued after just 1 year. Some say it was too expensive to produce. Others believe it was simply too dangerous to exist. GMC started with a standard Sonoma pickup and then went completely insane. They added a turbocharged 4.3-liter V6 engine that produced over 280 horsepower. They installed an all-wheel drive system borrowed from racing, and they tuned everything for maximum acceleration. The result was a truck that could accelerate from 0 to 60 in 4.3 seconds. That was faster than the Chevrolet Corvette of the same year. It was faster than Ferrari. It was faster than almost anything else on the road. But here's where GMC made a fatal mistake. They built a dragster and then forgot to upgrade the safety systems. The brakes were still designed for a regular pickup truck. The suspension was stiff, but the frame wasn't reinforced to handle the extra stress. The tires were performance-oriented, but the safety systems were completely standard. This was essentially a wolf in sheep's clothing. It looked like a regular compact pickup, so drivers treated it like one. But the moment they hit the accelerator, they were piloting a missile that could outrun most police cars. The crash statistics were devastating. Insurance claims skyrocketed. Drivers who weren't prepared for that level of performance found themselves in situations they couldn't handle. The Cyclone was too fast for its own good, and too dangerous for average drivers to handle safely. Number 3. Ford Explorer Sport Track, 2001 to 2005. Take a Ford Explorer, stretch it into a pickup truck, and you get the Sport Track. It sounds like a reasonable idea until you realize you're combining the worst aspects of SUVs with the added instability of a pickup truck bed. The Sport Track was based on the Ford Explorer platform, which was already problematic. This was the same platform involved in the Firestone tire controversy that killed over 200 people. The same platform known for high rollover risk and poor emergency handling. But Ford decided to make it even more dangerous by stretching it into a pickup configuration. Now you had a longer, less stable version of a vehicle that was already prone to flipping over. The longer wheelbase should have made it more stable, but the pickup bed actually made the weight distribution worse. The suspension was soft and bouncy, which made it comfortable for daily driving, but absolutely terrifying in emergency situations. The steering was vague and unresponsive, giving drivers almost no feedback about what the vehicle was doing. And the optional off-road tires actually made on-road handling even worse. Rollover rates were significantly higher than the competition. When these trucks did flip, the survival rate was poor because the roof structure wasn't designed for the added length and weight. Emergency handling was practically non-existent because the vehicle would start to roll before drivers could react. The most dangerous part was that it was marketed as a sporty, capable vehicle. Ford positioned it as the perfect truck for active families who wanted something that was both practical and fun to drive. In reality, it was a rolling lawsuit waiting to happen. Number 2. Monster trucks made street legal. This might sound like a joke, but it's not. People actually register full-size monster trucks for street use. Not replicas, not scaled-down versions, but actual car-crushing monsters that were designed to jump over school buses. These vehicles have 44-inch tires that are taller than most people. They sit 10 to 12 feet off the ground, which is higher than most single-story buildings. They weigh over 9,000 pounds, which is more than most delivery trucks, and they drive next to you in traffic. To make them street legal, builders install headlights, turn signals, and mirrors. They add license plate mounts and sometimes even windshield wipers. But that doesn't fix the fundamental physics problem. The center of gravity is so high that these trucks are constantly on the verge of tipping over. Braking is absolutely awful because the massive tires and extreme height create handling characteristics that no normal driver can manage. They crush potholes, demolish curbs, and can literally drive over small cars without the driver even noticing. Visibility is so bad that some owners install spotters, people whose job is to guide the truck through traffic and into parking spaces. The blind spots are so massive that entire vehicles can disappear from view. In a crash, there's no walking away. The impact forces are so extreme that survival is nearly impossible. Regular cars get crushed like aluminum cans. Even other trucks and SUVs get destroyed on impact. The most terrifying part is that these vehicles are completely legal in most states. As long as they have the required safety equipment, they can be registered and driven on public roads. There's no special training required, no additional licensing, and no oversight to make sure the drivers can actually handle these mechanical monsters. Number 1. Tesla Cybertruck 2024. The Tesla Cybertruck represents everything that's wrong with modern automotive design. It's a vehicle that prioritizes style over safety, innovation over common sense, and marketing over human life. Made from cold-rolled stainless steel, the Cybertruck's body is so rigid that it doesn't deform in crashes. That might sound like a good thing, but it's actually a death sentence for everyone else on the road. Modern vehicles are designed to crumple and absorb impact energy. The Cybertruck reflects that energy back onto whatever it hits. When a Cybertruck collides with a regular car, the car doesn't just get damaged, it gets obliterated. The stainless steel body acts like a battering ram, transferring all the impact force directly into the other vehicle. Passengers in regular cars don't stand a chance. The acceleration is absolutely insane. 0 to 60 in 2.6 seconds in a vehicle that weighs nearly 7,000 pounds. That's supercar acceleration in a truck that weighs as much as a full-size van. The instant torque delivery means there's no time to react when things go wrong. But the real danger is how different the Cybertruck is from everything else on the road. It's so reflective that it blinds other drivers, creating dangerous situations just by existing. The angular design is so unusual that it distracts other drivers, causing them to lose focus on the road ahead. The silence is equally dangerous. Unlike traditional trucks that announce their presence with engine noise, the Cybertruck moves like a ghost. Pedestrians and cyclists can't hear it coming, leading to accidents that could be avoided with conventional vehicles. Early crash test data is showing that the Cybertruck is creating new categories of injury. The rigid body structure is causing trauma patterns that medical professionals have never seen before. Emergency responders are having to develop entirely new protocols for dealing with Cybertruck accidents. This isn't just a dangerous truck, it's a fundamental threat to road safety. Every Cybertruck on the road makes every other vehicle more dangerous just by existing. In conclusion, these 10 trucks prove that more power, more size, and more innovation don't always equal better safety. From design flaws that killed thousands to modifications that turned trucks into weapons, these vehicles show what happens when engineering goes wrong. Which one shocked you the most? Let me know in the comments and subscribe for more automotive content that'll keep you up at night.